everybody's in this one. We have the narrator, played by Seton Brown. He speaks like the British naturalist David Attenborough. Clumpy, an American woodcock, played by Brian Moore Evans. Copper, a red-tailed hawk, played by Art Devine. GHO, a great horned owl, played by Wendy Watson. Master Rapper, a downy-headed woodpecker, also played by Seton Brown. Atticus, a mockingbird, played by Anthony Texera. Lindsay, a magpie, played by me. Titus, a raven, played by Julie Allen Hamilton. I'm doing this all from memory, you should be impressed. Really, I'm not looking.
See, I can't get away with anything.
I know. Crow, a crow, played by Ian Hamilton. Crackle, a grackle, played by Chelsea Joe Brown. JP, a European starling, played by Stephanie Diaz-Eldridge. The setting, early July 2022, in the middle of a forest at midnight with a full moon. Video screen appears on stage. Option to add several hatted people peering up with binoculars, pacing across the stage in shadow while the narrator speaks. Sounds of the American woodcock as the lights dim to simulate dusk.
The male American woodcock. The balls, the hokum or the Labrador twister is a small shorebird found primarily in the eastern half of North America. Flight speed 16 to 28 miles per hour. They migrate at night, are plump, short-legged with very long, straight bills, large heads, short necks, and short tails, give them a bulbous look. Their courtship flights are welcomed as a harbinger of spring in the northeastern America. They eat ants, flies, crickets, grasshoppers, and weeds. They mate exactly 22 minutes after sunset on calm, clear evenings in meadows. The sounds get more pronounced as the male goes up into the sky, gyrating, and land about 30 feet from where it went up.
Plumpy enters from rear holding a picket sign. Feather your own nest. Fishes, birds of a feather is playing softly. Copper enters.
Enough! How can I ever mate with all the glassy-eyed, hairy heads and hats following me? How would they like it if I invaded their nests?
Pushing Plumpy towards the stage.
You have to move on, Plumpy. We can't have you interrupting the flow of my creation.
Hey, no need to get snipey with me. The nicknames. How'd you like to be called American Woodcock? The Bog Sucker. Those hairy-headed and hatted the 3 H's, who don't have claws or beaks. They gave me insulting nicknames. What do they call you, the hook beak?
No, my name is Copper. But the 3 H's do point at me and yell, hawk, hawk. Looks like a male red-tailed hawk. Plumpy, you need to migrate further north. There's no room for you here now.
I'm not taking this anymore. I've already started my podcast, Flight or Fight. You should listen. Revolt against the 3 H's. There's more of us than them.
Yeah, tell it to the judge. Come on. Come with me now. Come on.
Plumpy and Copper exit off stage. Breaking the Law by Judas Priest plays. Opening, stage is revealed. Up center, an upturned orange crate with GHO standing behind it. On his side, Master Rapper. Downstage left. Mockingbird, downstage right, Magpie. GHO motions for Master Rapper.
Order in the court. The winged ones will now spread out to hear the case of the accused 4 and 20 blackbirds.
Some days my job is crap.
Titus Poe, Crackle, and JP file in to downstage center.
Your great horned owl, Your Honor. Today we have before you 4 falsely accused brethren. Someone of the flesh-legged species was going to kill them and bake them in a pan.
With all due respect to you, our esteemed great horned owl, the Honorable GHO, what we have here is a murder. The other species have pointed them out several times, especially when there is more than 4. Murder! Why shouldn't they be baked in a pie?
Your Honor, GHO GHO, what we do have is a miscommunication between species, as is usual for these trying times for us, the winged ones. What will occur is the fatal mistake to misunderstand their calls. The wiser 3H's always call any winged ones a flock. The old, outdated calls, particularly for Poe, the Crow's family, was murder. A clear case for false labeling.
Your Honor, Sir GHO, may I speak for me and my flock family?
Yes, feel free to enlighten us with your vocabulary. But I too am surprised at your vocabulary. You are not monosyllabic at all. Why would they write your only words as saying nevermore?
Exactly, Your Honorable GHO. Just because they call me Raven, I have been singled out by a human called Edgar Allan Poe. And a flock of us has just been labeled an unkindness. Your Honor, sir, though Poe is my given name, it was because although I'm a
Crow.
some creatures thought I was a
Raven.
but I'm too small for one. And I'm smart. I'm not afraid of creatures called
Scarecrows.
and my feathered black boy brethren, like Crackle and JP, get lumped together too.
I'm called Grackle. My starting brethren and us mostly flock in thousands with the 3H's standing by all glassy-eyed with their binoculars murmuring murmurations. But they kill us saying we steal from the fat makers in their fields.
And if I may interject, Your Honor, my flock, the European starling, has been maligned as well by the 3H's. We weren't even native to this ground, but adopted and flourished. But one of their gargantuan, loud, non-feathered creations sucked up, killing many of my ancestors, and it caused a crash. They called us Snarge. Now, mangled mess of us. If that isn't the pot calling the kettle black, I don't know what is.
Sound of angry birds can be heard as Copper leads Plumpy, who's struggling to fly away.
Plumpy, stop right now. Quit your chattering. You sound like the magpie. Remember, you're American woodcock.
Officer Copper, I resemble that remark. I resent it.
What do you have to say for yourself, little bird, to raise such a ruckus? Your feathers must be extremely ruffled. The winged court will now hear the case of one very angry... Oh, no, wait, that's not my mind.
The winged court will now hear the case of one very angry bird, Plumpy, the American woodcock, versus...
Rap. On a GHO is throwing in the towel. Or maybe he's calling us out.
Your Honor, GHO, sir, the wisest bird of the forest. I have never caused trouble for any of the winged ones. I have lived peacefully, mostly in the meadows, doing my mating and breeding with many fluffy, horny hens, then off walking, looking for worms, weeds, etc. But those 3H's with their glassy eyes, or worse, their yellow monster toys they call deer. They've ruined my simple life. They kill my sister trees, stupid stomp my home ground, or even worse, dig it up. They should feather their own nests and leave mine alone. I'm so angry I could just poop on all of them if I could. They don't give a shit about me, or my feathered family, or most of the natural world. We should revolt like those birds in that Hitchcock movie.
On the national holiday for American independence, July the 4th, was more associated with the flight or fight movement. Instead of fireworks, flocks of seemingly every feathered species clouded the sun. Giant globs of guano. It was a plethora of poop. Even using umbrellas, tarps, and hard hats didn't seem to help the degree of droppings. All outdoor events were cancelled. No picnics or parades, as the plopping, pounded pedestrians. The military wanted to wipe them out, but the president met with a great horned owl, a mockingbird, a downy woodpecker, a red-tailed hawk, a flock of various blackbirds, and a small male American woodcock, Lumpy, who appeared as their leader. An agreement was reached that the fecal onslaught would end if all Americans, at least, would think of their feathered friends before violating any more of their rights as a species. No more interruptions in their breeding locations, etc. The only objection was an ever-chattering magpie called Lindsay, who just stayed on a rickety fence, wobbling back and forth, back and forth. But the hero Plumpy was honored with a statue, which he requested to be covered, as he still had a few rebellious pigeons who just wanted to keep revolting. Maybe they know history keeps repeating until lessons are learned. Look up, but with respect for all.
The end.